Konbanwa.
Ooh, what does that mean?
Good evening.
Amazing. Do it.
Konbanwa. Good evening. We are here. We are doing the it's a little different. It is still keeping up, but this one is a little San Diego centric. We went to a play. Me.
Spoiler things before you get into it.
Yeah,
In case people want to go see it.
This will have slight spoils. I highly recommend if you can go see it, definitely go see it. I'm gonna put this up. It's called SUMO. It's an amazing play, and I think that if you are a sumo wrestler or like a practitioner or a fan or anything along those lines, and you can make the trip to it, you should definitely go check it out. It has a lot to say, and that is the end of the spoil-free section. Now, we're gonna keep up all the way and get into a little bit of the spoils, a little bit of talking about the play, and our overall impression of it. What did you think?
I absolutely loved it. I always love how people talk about expansive stories, right? Specifically, there are two characters in it, both men who love each other romantically. So and they do sumo, and our club, is so many folks who are within the queer community. I identify as queer, right? So it really spoke to like how queer people are everywhere. They're in all stories. So I thought that was really dope.
A big thing that I took away from it was the setup of the ring, the doho was pretty amazing. The way that they had it. It almost looked like sand, but it was very interactive. The lighting of showing, very simple. How do you win? How do you lose? I've never seen it done so cleanly on the American soil. Mm-hmm. I'm sure in Japan it's done pretty awesome. I've seen some stuff where they show really crazy jumping kicks and things like that on some of the outlawed stuff, but it was interesting to see a theater full 2 times, mind you, theater full of spectators and just people that want to watch it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was even it was even more amazing because when we first went to go see it, we were going to be on a plane to Japan the next day.
Yeah.
So it was I really want to thank you, Jay, because you were like, look, yeah, we've got back-to-back stuff going on, but it's super important that we come. And thank you so much for La Jolla Playhouse for inviting us twice. Yeah. And then when we were in Japan, then we got an invitation to come and to be on a part of their Discovery Sunday, where we had a chance to share our love for one another and the sport and the community of sumo. Yeah. How did it feel how did it feel from the second watch to the first watch for you?
So the seats were different. Mm-hmm. We were kind of in the corner nosebleeds, and it was still the VIP pre-show. So everybody that was there was invited one way or another from the staff. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but one of my coworkers may have put our name into a listing on their Instagram post. So it was if you know anybody that should see this show, put their name in there. And I think she tagged us in there. I have no idea if that's the reason we got the invite, or if somebody was just Googling sumo in San Diego and found us. Either which way, it was pretty awesome, right? For them to reach out to us and invite us to the VIP show, which ultimately was the only show that we kind of could have made. Yeah. Due to scheduling and everything else along those lines. I found out afterwards that we went to that show, and then shortly after, I guess the following week, they didn't have a show
Oh,
because everybody got COVID.
oh no, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so there I feel like I'm hoping that they extend the show, but it, things are gonna have to always keep on going on, and it may or may not be fair for the next show that they have.
I really appreciated seeing the show because I think when we went to Japan and we had a chance to visit one of the stables, it really it really just put into just even more deeper respect for the sport and people who practice it on a pro level. It was kind of wild, here because they say, in the show, they're like, women are forbidden from, practicing, and I really just like I it's hard. Like I forget sometimes, because it's just so much just like love and support, getting from you and I see like other competitors and stuff like that. But it just was such a good story.
Yeah. I mean, with that part, I usually try to explain to people that there's amateur sumo and then there's professional sumo, right? And there, if you keep in mind the separation, one is more inclusive, especially globally. I mean, we have women in Ukraine and in Hungary, in Poland,
Japan.
in Japan. We got women everywhere training, and even in Japan, we had Little Miss Sumo and them training with Wasta,
Wow.
the club
Yeah.
that allowed us to come and train there before we got there. Right?
Yeah. And shout out to Little Miss Sumo for making waves and really breaking ceilings in sumo too. How what were some of your like other favorite takeaways from it? Like the costumes and the lighting.
So the lighting was really, really cool. And taiko drumming all the way through really kind of set the tempo.
Yeah.
And it was cool to see that literally the stage was a sumo ring. That was the big part of it.
The whole
Like
thing.
they would roll in a hot tub for the hot tub scene with the Ozeki Sama-san. Or
Gonna love that.
I know, right? Or when he was Yokozuna, right? And then showing like the little parties that they have to do to try to get more money into the stable, right? That was real interesting. There was a lot of real interesting things, and then the way that they set up the pyramid of when people train and just how grueling it is. A lot of the stories I hear with sumo wrestlers, I come from the amateur sumo side, so I see a lot of people go from amateur sumo world championships into there, and they're not starting on the bottom. They're starting, a little higher up, so they don't have to go through all of that hazing and maybe the abuse, right? Which is a part of it, and there's a certain degree that I'm sure is healthy, and there's a degree that's not, right? And I think that this shows a little bit of both of those sides. It's a magical tale of an amazing ritual.
Yeah, and like a real like coming of age story. The main character, the main character like goes through it, right? And is really aspiring to be more like the Ozeki, right? And there's an amazing moment where kind of just all the really just amazing pieces. I mean, the costume, the props, the lighting, all kind of crescendo.
The
And
humor.
but like remember the last fight?
Oh, the last fight.
Where it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
where it's like the main character, because oh my gosh, the Ozeki is just like, he's just bad news, mean, all that type of stuff. But you know, they do a good job at helping you kind of see his humanity, and like he's trying to help the main character. But there's this end fight that, I mean, if you were anybody who's, you know, and it really touched me because I'm always on like, you know, breaking cycles and making it better for the folks coming after. But it was just such an amazing depiction of that just fight inside. Like, you have a mentor who may be hella toxic. You're trying to, you know, aspire to be them, or maybe do something different, or maybe you kind of losing yourself in what needs to be done to get to that higher level. And I mean, it was amazing. There was a part where like the gods that are a part of the story of the creation of sumo come out in costumes, and the lighting, and I mean, just no stop wasn't pulled out for this one, and it really just shone really well.
Yeah, it was an amazing show. The Mawashis were a little off. You can't quite tell if you're up in the nosebleeds. The first time we were like, they tied Mawashis on people.
Who was back there tying Mawashis? Quick.
I thought they had 4 Brendas back there.
Yeah, Brenda, are you working on a sumo show?
You got a side hustle?
Brenda, are you working? But yeah, it was, yeah.
On the second showing, we could kind of see the stitching of the Mawashis, right? You know, there's a little bit of that, a little bit of tape covering people's tattoos. The closer I got, I'm also like pretty blind, so I guess if I'm far out, I'm like, it looks like a human being. But yeah, which, you know, they kind of held it in, right? They made sure that that no tattoos were visible, because then they wouldn't be professional sumo wrestlers, right? They talked a lot about like retirement and what that looks like, and how hair cutting ceremonies are different depending on where you are, and just showing like some of the, I don't want to say ugly, because in harsh reality and harsh life, it's still beautiful.
Come on, JJ,
you know?
Bars. Yes.
It's more or less how I feel, right? Like anybody that does anything, you're gonna have those ugly times, but a lot of times on the back end of it, it's sometimes the most beautiful of times. Right?
You can't say nothing else after that, honestly.
Thank you to the La Jolla Playhouse. I'm going to go ahead at this point and add in at least some information of the creative artist that took place, including actors, screenwrites, and all of that. So I'm going to keep this rolling for a second, and we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah. Keep up with us later, okay?
Bye-bye.
Peace.